Every shop that opens requires one thing.
A business with no sign is a sign of no business, right?
But these days, most of them are printed, vinyl, acrylic, done by a machine. But this guy still paints them by hand, the old traditional way.
Unexplainable feeling, man, to be honest. Especially when the sign goes up. I feel so satisfied.
Penang, one of Malaysia's most storied cities. Famous for its food, its heritage buildings, its street art. But somewhere above the old town, in a modest apartment that smells of oil paint and linseed, a man is doing something most Malaysians have never seen before. Jordan Tan, 44 years old, born in Penang, raised in KL. Today, probably one of Malaysia's last handmade sign painter. Just looking around his studio, you can see it. This is not a man who stumbled into this craft by accident.
I actually found graffiti at a really young age, maybe 9, I think. Because that was around the age I started skateboarding. So I was really into graffiti back then. As you know, in the 90s, early 90s, hip-hop was huge. I used to just buy a record, like cassette, CD, see graffitis through the sleeves. And then I would steal my dad's paint and go and spray the front yard and get told off at the end of the day when he comes back from work.
But that didn't stop him. One afternoon, inspired by the biggest name in skateboarding at the time, he grabbed a spray can and made his mark on the family home.
As everyone knows, Tony Hawk was huge, so I just tagged like Tony Hawk. And so happened that my dad's name is Tony as well. He came home like straight up from work, like briefcase, like, hey, why did you write my name in front of the house? So yeah, I still remember that till today.
That obsession with letters never left him. Jordan studied art, picked up graphic design, and somehow still landed one of the most coveted marketing jobs in Southeast Asian streetwear, working for Vans in Singapore. But after 7 years at Vans, Jordan quit and moved back to Penang. Here, he taught himself sign painting from YouTube tutorials, networked with other international sign painters on Instagram, and started all over, investing his own savings in his new career.
So what I'm working on right now is actually pretty cool. This client reached out to me for a sign, and he also wants me to paint his windows. And it's actually for a bagel shop. Good colors, good design, and I'm actually really stoked to work on this, to be honest.
The process of making these hand-painted signboards is still old school. Every letter traced in pencil, transferred to the board using a pounce weir with perforated holes. Sign painters have been doing it this way for generations.
So basically, mainly all the stencils are done for the main sign. Like I prefer to make this in pencil, so I get straighter lines. Whereas with this, I use a different method, a pounce method, and it gives a little bit more flow to it because I don't need this to be like 100% straight. So I need to use like a dark chalk. The chalk will go through the holes and it will leave a mark, and that is my guide to paint.
John explains that sign painting is also a slow work. Every single piece takes time, not just the painting process itself.
The specific paint that we use, it takes a long time to dry. So for example, like after I painted the background, like I had to wait for it to dry for 3 days because it's actually oil-based paint.
But even though Jordan's signboards are taking longer than the industrial ones, more and more clients are interested in hand-painted signs again.
Yeah, because a hand-painted sign is not just a regular signboard. It's, in a way, you're getting like an art piece as well. I keep in mind that client can remove it and repurpose it like in their studio, in the office or whatever. So it's gonna have a longer life, I guess.
That Jordan left a good paid job in Singapore to be here and fulfill his passion was not understandable for everyone. Even he himself had his doubts.
At first it was a bit of a struggle, I guess. Trying to come out of that norm with corporate life and all that stuff. That was probably the toughest part though. But I get creative freedom, I get to do whatever I want on my own time. And I have amazing mental health right now, but it's a give and take, I guess. You can't have it all, man. Like even anything you do in this world, like you really can't have it all. Like I guess that's the toughest part in life, man, like finding the sweet spot in everything you do.
This bagel shop sign will take Jordan still a few more days to complete. So while we wait for today's layer of paint to dry, Jordan wants to take us outside into the streets of Penang, a city full of art and for Jordan one of his earliest inspirations.
One of the main attractions of Penang is obviously the heritage buildings here. So as you can see behind me, there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. How it's still preserved and how it's still very a vibe.
But Jordan is not here for the famous street murals like most tourists.
I come into town like once a week just to walk around and look at signs. Because a lot of my clients want that same look and same style. So this is kind of me doing my research and studying at the same time.
And through all that studying, Jordan actually has left his own marks on these streets. This particular shopfront sign was made by Jordan. Even after almost a year being exposed to a lot of sunlight, high humidity and lots of rain, the sign still looks brand new.
It also had the top part and the bottom part sticking out because it's their main logo, so I thought it would be cool if they could remove it one day and keep it. So I did an extra piece. Like even the little shadow, to me it means so much. Like coming up from the right side, like I'm happy with this one.
Not far from here, we come across one of Jordan's earliest works.
So this one actually hits really close to home because this is my first main like big sign. This I think is over a year now. The day that I installed this sign, I didn't take photos, so I came back with my mom to take photos. And while we were here, I saw another old guy parked his car on the side, came out of his car, took a photo of my sign and drove off. And that was such an amazing feeling. And that kind of is the reason why I do what I do at the end of the day.
One week later in Petaling Jaya, Jordan has made his way to KL to finally install the finished signboard for the bagel shop. Besides that, the 44-year-old is also working on some window paintings for Sonny's Bagel Shop. Therefore, Jordan tapes up his template, the design printed on paper, pressed against the glass from the outside. From the inside, he traces the outlines.
So I also prefer windows because it actually has a bigger impact compared to a hand-painted signboard. Windows are often on eye level, so you get to see more details, and to be honest, I would just love people to have a conversation about it. Oh, that shit looks hand-painted, it's not sticker. With this, like the signboard, you're able to see brushstrokes, and that is something you don't see very often here.
The main man behind the retro-style restaurant is Trev, who wanted something special for his American-themed bagel shop.
We wanted it to be very retro Delhi vibes to it, like more old school way to do it. So first thing we think of is the hand paint sign. It give more feel and much cooler. Secondly, also it translates to the brand. Everything is handmade, artisanal, you know. Same with our bagel, it will be handmade, artisanal. So it's a whole line of the branding concept as well, yeah.
But for Trev, hiring Jordan was never just about the sign.
I look at him like an artist, right? Like it has soul behind this signboard. Same is translated to the business later. We put effort, we put time. So this signboard means, I think people might not aware. If they see from outside, they thought it's print. But if you know it, then I think it gives a bit more value and you're appreciating that a bit more. I think that's the whole point, to have artists to hand paint the signboard.
And while working on his window job, the contractor arrives. The moment Jordan has been working towards for weeks. The sign is ready to go up on the building.
Power, right? Damn fast, dude.
I remember, it's not fast. Yeah.
Dude, your guy is so fucking steady, bro. Your guy is so power. Yeah. Thank you. No, because he flushed it all the way in, man. And bro, my size really perfect.
Right, come bro.
You give me wrong size, you almost
Not
fucked
me,
me
my
up, bro.
ID.
You almost fucked me up, sia. The length of it in the batang is the same length, you know, bro. I'm damn proud, sia. Unexplainable feeling, man, to be honest. Especially when the sign goes up. I feel so satisfied. And seeing how the principles of layout that I applied to it actually works.
Back to painting the window.
I would like to paint for as long as I can. Whether it's sustainable or not is a separate question, but it's something that I feel that I would like to do till I can't do it anymore.
After another 30 minutes, Jordan is done. The blueprint comes off. It is getting late. As mentioned before, the work of a sign painter is slow. Not everything will be finished tonight.
Meeting this client in particular gives me a bit of hope for the future because there's a group of young entrepreneurs in KL at the moment and they all have a very good eye for detail, which is required in our F&B business locally, I reckon. So with these guys coming up and open more businesses around the city, I think that gives me hope that there will be a lot more establishments down the line that will require my services.
A week later, the windows are done. The shop is open and all around Sonny's bagel shop is Jordan's art. Window paintings and a unique signboard. In Malaysia, the people who still paint signs this way can almost be counted on one hand. Jordan is one of them. Some trades vanish because nobody wants them anymore. Others vanish because nobody bothers to keep them alive. Jordan keeps this one alive.